Hello, good people, and welcome to Hillbilly Cat History, where we explore the times, events, and people surrounding Elvis Presley. Thank you for choosing this video. In this episode, Bob Smith finds a fresh start, the day Elvis Presley's grandpa finally caught a break. Join us as we follow Elvis Presley's maternal grandfather, Bob Smith, as he leads his family to a new farm during one of the toughest chapters of the Great Depression. With his wife bedridden and 9 children to feed, Bob finally gets a break, a sturdy house, better land, and a chance to dig out from under years of hardship. On January 13th, 1929, Lillian and her husband Charles' daughter, Lola Virginia Mann, was born. On April 22, 1929, Retha and her husband Purvy's son, Robert Harold Lloyd, was born. In late 1929, Bob and family moved to Dennis Brooks Farm, but did not stay long. In early 1930, Bob and family moved to Harry Hallmark's farm. In 1930, Lillian and her husband Charles' daughter, Garland Mann, was born. Lavelle and her husband William's son, Robert Melton Smith, was born on May 30th, 1930. In mid-1930, Bob and family moved to Griffin Barber's farm after Harry Hallmark's shack burned down. Dave, Lily Mae, and their son Lynn Irwin, who were sharecroppers on the Burke farm, who also operated a general store and peddling wagon. Friends with Bob, the Irwins were excited to share the news of an untenanted house with 30 acres, 25 for growing cotton and the other 5 for corn, available on the Burke farm. If Bob worked fast to secure this opportunity, the Smiths and the Irwins would be close neighbors. Sharecropping and farming in general was a cyclical business which resulted in a large payment once a year at harvest time and virtually no cash payments during the rest of the year. Most farmers would never have been able to stay in business without an annual operational loan, usually taken out at planting time to purchase seeds, equipment, labor, and to pay expenses like mortgage payments and food until harvest. When the crop was sold, a profit was hopefully realized, the loan was paid back, and a few months later, the cycle began again. A sharecropper with good credit would often take a loan around the same time of the year, or earlier, depending on their cash management skills, to purchase supplies such as flour, sugar, and coffee to get them through to the next harvest, when they would receive their share of the crop profit and repay the loan. Annual farming operational loans were basically the reason banks existed in these farm communities. Bob wanted to seize the opportunity to work on the Burke farm, so he secured a loan, the funds of which he paid immediately to Dave and Lily Mae for some immediate supplies and a little credit for future needs. Bob may have done this so he would not have to worry about the security of the physical cash. The Irwin store in this instance acted as a bank for Bob, keeping his funds safe and available for future purchases. Around the end of 1930, Bob moved his family, including his mother Ann and brother Johnny, to Burke's farm on Eggville Road in Tupelo, Mississippi. In good repair, with a hedge of roses surrounding the front door, their new abode was the biggest, nicest house the Smith family had ever occupied. Cletus was 11 years old. Gladys was 18. Lily Mae Irwin recollected her memories of Bob at this time by saying, "Bob was a good man. He worked hard, but the large family and the invalid wife, he just could not make it. You never saw a doll unless you went into the house." Lynn Irwin noticed Bob was unable to save any money. As soon as he received cash, he spent it. In his capacity as the operator of the general store, Lynn was personally familiar with the items and products Bob purchased, many of which Lynn described as luxuries for Doll, who had been confined to bed for more than 25 years. Doll had a love for side combs to wear in her hair. She was also fond of peppermint drops and lavender water. Doll suffered from tuberculosis and required various medications prescribed by Dr. Charlie Pyle, a constant and ongoing expense. When there was cash available to the family, Doll sent her daughters to purchase fabric in Saltillo. Doll sewed this material herself into dressing gowns, the only clothing she could wear. Doll taught her daughters to sew at an early age. The females of the family hand-sewed all the clothing worn by family members. But while Bob toiled in the fields and scratched at cemeteries to keep food on the table, his daughter Gladys was stepping into a world of her own. With a talent for sewing, a sharp eye for fashion, and a streak of youthful independence, she was about to make choices that would shake her small community and alter her future forever. We know Elvis was a Christian. We know Elvis sang gospel music, but did you know Elvis always traveled with his favorite Bible in his black box carried by one of the Memphis Mafia? Have you ever wondered how many Bibles the greatest entertainer of all time owned and gifted to others? Check out Hillbilly Cat History's guest appearance on the Those Elvis Girls channel on YouTube to learn more. Please subscribe so you won't miss the next Hillbilly Cat History chat. If you enjoyed this chat, please tell other Elvis fans about Hillbilly Cat History so we can all make this journey together. Thank you for joining Hillbilly Cat History as we explored this piece of the Elvis Presley puzzle. Stop on by anytime so we can chat again.